Alrighty. How's it going, everybody? Decided to go ahead and get in that game of King of the Castle. So, today we've got Queen Mara of the Pernani dynasty that you all will be trying to overthrow. Once we get a few nobles in here, we can see about getting things started up. You can join with !join, he, she, they. And as you can see from the little tooltips in the top left, if you do own the game, you can also type in the region you wish to join. For example, you could !join counts to join the counts faction. Alrighty, and I am back. Seems we don't have any nobles just yet, so if you are feeling up to it, whoever happens to be around, feel free to type exclamation point join, he, she, they, and we can get you filtered onto one of our 3 teams. We've got the Barons of the March, Counts of the East, and Patricians of the Coast. Once we get at least 1 noble in each of the factions, we can get the game underway, and yeah. Alright, I guess while I give people some more time to filter in, I'm going to go ahead and go grab a drink, so I'll be right back. went ahead and grabbed myself a bottle of Clear American. Basically, it's a flavored water, is the best way to put it. It's pretty good. Just got one of the cherry ones. We'll give this a few more minutes. If we end up not being able to get anybody, then I'll just probably have to switch gears, and we'll see about doing something else. Hey, Skynet, welcome. You are one of our Barons of the March. Hello. How's it going? We have ourselves our first patrician of the coast. You have to pardon me, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce your name. Ken Jipul? I can butcher the name, I'm sure, but I'm not entirely sure on the pronunciation. Good to meet you. Alright. Well, we've got 2 of our nobles. We need at least 1 more, and then I can see about getting things underway. One more should be enough? Yep. Gotta have at least 1 noble in each faction, so that way they've got somebody making choices. We just need a Count of the East. And ask and ye shall receive. Meowmans. Hello there. Welcome to the stream. We got you on the Counts of the East. I think with that, we've got enough people to go ahead and get this started. But just so it's known, even if you don't join in now, you can join in for this. Cool model. You look like the German Chancellor. Ooh. Hadn't quite considered that. I just kind of randomed up the character. Because I just roll up, essentially, a new monarch for each game. But yeah, this one actually did turn out pretty nice, though. I can't deny. Pretty cool looking. Alright, let's go ahead and get this underway. Let's see here. Let's meet the council. Now that you're the queen, your first duty is to meet with the Council of Nobles. Your nobles hail from all across the kingdom, the desolate east, the wealthy coast, and of course, the bleak march. Let's meet our Count of the East. Count Meowmans, an honor to finally make your acquaintance, your majesty. May you escape the doom that befell your predecessor. Let's introduce ourselves to the patricians of the coast. Lord Patrician Can. A pleasure, your esteemed highness. I hope to see our kingdom prosper and grow wealthy under your reign. Finally, Barons of the March. Baron Skynet. Hail and well met, your highness. Under your leadership, we'll whip this kingdom into shape, With that, introductions are done. The council hall immediately fills with raised voices as the nobles argue with each other and demand your favor. You sigh and sit back. Is this what the council is like? No wonder your father told you to avoid the throne at all costs. Alright. Time for the coronation. Your Majesty, I've scheduled your coronation to take place in a week's time. Why the hurry? To delay any longer would make the nobles restless. And when nobles get restless, they take their daggers and look for the nearest back. Very well then, what must I do? As is tradition, the council will decide what happens at your coronation. Of course. Shall we call the nobles in? Alright, so, for those who are not in the loop, This game's got a voting system. You can vote with exclamation point vote, A, B, C, or D. Once I hit the start vote, I've got different laws I can use, so I can say veto an option and it wouldn't be available for vote, or I can, mark my preferred option. That said, I'll let you all have at it. So you can vote A, B, C, or D for which option you want. We can either host a lavish parade with jugglers and fountains of wine, force the commoners to swear a blood oath, throw the queen into the river, or troops shall bear the queen through the streets atop a shield. If there ends up being a tie, then it goes to a monarch decision. That said, it looks like we are hosting a lavish parade. The coronation is a great success. Jugglers, wine, fireworks, and feasts. It has an impact on your treasury, of course, but what doesn't? Alright. And the path to victory. Spymaster. Your Majesty, when you die, how do you hope the kingdom will remember you? So now I, as the monarch, am setting my win condition here. Let's go for sainthood. I haven't done sainthood, like intentionally, anyway. We can give it a try. The church will love you, I suspect, but will anyone else? I suggest over the next few years you focus on improving the kingdom's overall faith as much as possible. Once you have an heir, I will return to discuss how your ambition is progressing. Good luck, Your Majesty. With that, we get to the end of the season. So, Barons, this one's for you. We have Vermis of the Skynet 12346 bloodline, legendary Marcher Elder, standing before a blazing hearth, roaring with arms outstretched. When have the Barons of the March backed down from a fight? Never! I know you'll do what it takes to put me, your rightful monarch, on the throne. So, Barons, you get to choose your scheme. You can go for doppelganger, modernization, or propaganda. So you can either lower your defiance, lower the other group's military, or lower the overall stability of the kingdom. You can vote with A, B, or C. Modernization. Lower others' military. Okay. The barons plan to modernize the kingdom's army in such a way that it's totally under their control. First, they must prove the military is in need of reform. To advance their scheme, the barons must lower the other region's military to a combined total of 10 or less in 4 seasons. Dang. Okay, so we're going to need to up our military a bit. Counts. We have Luda of the Meowman's dynasty, sinister eastern chess master, leaning delicately on a podium, whispering carefully. My fellow counts, in ancient times the East was its own proud kingdom. We can bring back those days of glory, but not while the false Queen Mara wears the crown. So, counts. Your options are sorcery, where you'll need to, at the very start at least, raise authority in the kingdom, intimidation, raise stability, or ascension, lower own faith. So you've got a variety of options here. Also, for those who are just now tuning in, if you use exclamation point join and then your preferred pronoun, it'll get you filtered onto a team. Lowering own faith. You stand in opposition to me then. The counts plan to induct the queen into their secret cult and offer her immortality in exchange for the throne. First, they must reduce the power of the Eastern Church. To advance their scheme, the counts must lower their faith to 4 or less in 3 seasons. And finally, the patricians. Rhoda of the Can family, powerful Navy admiral, scribbles with a well-used quill on a hardwood desk, muttering in frustration. Fellow patricians of the coast, my claim to the throne is far more legitimate than that of Queen Mara. Something must be done. So, patricians, your options are subterfuge, lowering stability, uprising, raising the treasury, or corruption, lowering authority. So far, the other factions are mostly aiming for military and faith, so it looks like you are good to pick whatever without having to worry too much at first. Corruption, lower authority. Okay. The patricians plan to turn the throne into a commodity that can be bought and sold at will. First, they must ensure that the rule of law is crumbling. To advance their scheme, the patricians must lower authority to 4 or less in 3 seasons. Alright, so we've got a false pretender, a distant cousin, and a long-lost niece. All gunning for the throne. So, moving on to laws of the land. I now get to add an extra to my own options. I'm going to take stop the count. I'm gonna put pressure on you on some votes, potentially. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and start with the capital. If you'll pardon me for just a moment, I'm not sure if that came across on my mic, but my cat has just flung my entire coin box and other things off the top of my dresser. One moment. It's a good thing you're adorable. You know that? Uh-huh. Making a mess. Alrighty. Now then, since we've got that taken care of. Marshal. As is tradition, each region offers a selection of elite guards. The counts with Knights of the Order of the Drowned Rose, the patricians with champion gladiators from the arena, and the barons offer a squad of battle-hardened veteran soldiers. Think carefully, Your Majesty. These guards' loyalties will be divided between you and their region. Of course, you could just hire 4 mercenaries. They'd be loyal to coin above all. Tell me about the Eastern Knights. The Order of the Drowned Rose are highly respectable. They'll understand palace etiquette, but it's been years since they fought in actual battle. They mostly write poems these days. We've got Coastal Gladiators. A gang of low-born crooks who have turned themselves into celebrities through their skill at chopping other people to bits. They're vain and selfish. Their skill in battle is undeniable, but can you trust them? And Veterans of the March. These soldiers have fought more battles than they've had hot dinners. They'll be uncouth, no doubt, and won't adapt well to life in the palace, but they're loyal and tough as nails. Don't trust anyone, take mercenaries? Let's see what mercenaries are suggested. Band of fearsome fighters from the Tatterlands called the Battle-Bitten Brethren. They specialize in bodyguard work, but they're costly, and hiring foreigners will betray a lack of confidence in our kingdom's fighters. I wait your verdict with bated breath, Your Majesty. It would hurt my authority to pick up the mercenaries, which is rough. And it would have the treasury. They want you poor, don't choose mercs? Fair. They want me poor, and they also wanted to lower my authority. I could have sworn that would raise their defiance, though. Maybe they changed that recently. I think I want some of those tough-as-nails soldiers. Well, you want what's good for the kingdom? Uh-huh, I'm sure you do. Lord Patrician. I'll make the arrangements. The veterans arrive a few weeks later. They march into the throne room in perfect formation before lining up behind your throne, hands on their sword hilts. Each soldier sports a bigger scar than the last. Alright. Now, it looks like we've got multiple things down here. The jousting tournament. Chancellor. Your Majesty, the Barons of the March have invited you to a jousting tournament. How delightfully rustic. Ooh. Wonderful. I'll compete myself. Superb, Your Majesty. I will send your acceptance directly. We're gonna get in there. Why not? And a theft. Baron Skynet. Your Majesty, this is an outrage. I demand justice. Last week, Lord Patrician Can shook my hand as a supposed show of reconciliation and stole my family's lucky ring in the process. Depths below. Nonsense. Rummaging through your drawers, and I'm sure you'll find the thing. Your Highness, a feud has stood between our families for centuries. Can's ancestors left my ancestors penniless after a cutthroat game of dice. Please, being a bad gambler is hardly a grievance. Enough! I know Can stole my priceless ring. It brings the March great luck and bounty, and my dear nephew is to wear it when he marries. So, we can either send the Chancellor to the coast to investigate, arrest the Lord Patrician immediately, or leave the squabbling nobles to deal with the situation themselves. Think fast. 10 seconds and counting. We got a tie vote so far. Ooh. A little too late. Alright. Lowering farming and stability. So I can choose to just raise my authority? That could be funny. Nah, I'm not going to arrest him. I'll let the nobles sort it out for themselves. It's not quite my concern. This will be disastrous. The loss of our lucky ring will bring ruin upon my family. Depths below. That's nothing but baseless superstition. Even so, Baron Skynet's sheep come down with a dreadful disease right afterwards. Tensions rise between the two families, with fights breaking out between their households whenever they visit the capital. Oh, exciting. Alright, that's the end of that season. So, now we are on to the auction phase. So, how this works is only the 2 most funded buildings will get funded. So you can use the command !fund, and then XY, as it says up top, where X is the character code and Y is the amount you're pledging. For example, you would do, say, !fund A, and then however much you want to fund, so A 100. Alright. 1 minute. This closes out automatically at the end. So, it's up to you how you choose to spend your funds. You can buy buildings outside of your own region as well. So, if you were trying to, say, lower the authority as, say, a baron, you could vote to build the theater for the patricians area. Casual Hoy, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. If you are looking to jump into the game, feel free to !join. Then we can get you put onto a team. Alrighty. Casual Hoy, you are one of our barons. Your scheme is modernization. You're currently trying to lower the others' combined military. Alright, that said, time is up for the auction. Only one building got funded, and it is the stadium, lowering military in the Count's region. Alright, let's see here. Let's check out this March event. A special guest. The barons have assembled upon a jousting field, watching from tall stands. The place is buzzing with excitement. A servant straps on your armor and helps you mount your horse. She hands you your lance, and you ride out onto the field. Welcome, one and all! We have a most thrilling guest today. As you ride your horse past the stands, nobles gasp and stare. Let's see here. Ooh. Let's wave enthusiastically. We'll be good. Cheering erupts, and the nobles stamp so hard that the stands tremble. When the jousting starts, you quickly realize your opponents swerve each time they approach. They don't want to hurt a queen. Puts a dent in the challenge, really. Bracing match, isn't it? You're hitting everyone soundly. We can either make the most of our advantage, disguise ourselves to get a real match, or withdraw and watch instead. Ooh. Let's see here. Our goal is faith. So, well, let's go disguised. We're gonna go for the flavorful option. A new competitor is about to join us. She comes from, let's see here. Ooh, what region do I want to rep? Give more military? I'm picking the flavorful options. At least for now. I'm not too desperately hanging on to things just yet. Let's see here. Why not? Let's rep the march. Your entourage helps you into a new set of armor, and you ride out onto the field. And here we have... what was the name? Baroness Katya, ready for a fight. Finally, a real battle. You unseat competitor after competitor. Blood courses through your veins as you raise your lance in victory. Let's go! We got the coin flip. The audience roars in support, cheering wildly for Baroness Katya. Is this what it's like to be truly admired? At the end of the day, Baron Skynet hands you a bag of gold as your prize. You leave the tournament feeling very pleased with yourself. Meanwhile, the Marcher cavalry troops see a huge influx of people eager to join up, inspired by your example. Hey, let's go. Alright, what's this? A matter of faith. Count Meowmans. Your Majesty, I've come up with an excellent money-making scheme. You have a hidden agenda, don't you? Nothing of the sort. Have you heard of a thing called simony? It means selling off priesthoods to anyone who wants them. I've already spoken to the Archbishop and convinced him it's a good idea. Of course, he'll get a healthy cut of the profits, and so will you. And let me guess, you need my help getting it past council? Let's see here. Sounds immoral. Listen, we give priesthoods to a bunch of book readers with nothing better to do. Imagine if we gave them to people so eager to be priests that they'd pay for the privilege. I was skeptical at first, but Count Meowmans has really sold me on the idea. Let's put it to a vote, shall we? And either permit the church to sell priesthoods. Alright, I am not looking to lower faith, so I love democracy. Let your will be known, my nobles. I love democracy. I love the council. I would like to not tank faith across every region, preferably. Tyranny. Alright. Oh, this is bound to backfire. By the blood of the dead, you try to help people and they spit in your face. Defiance is now grumbling. Hey, Brandish Words, raiding with a party of one. How's it going? Thank you for coming by. It's good to see you. How was your stream? Alright, let's go finding a spouse. Good until the end, Lamel? Uh-oh, did something happen? Something happened in the game? I know you're having some issues with a couple of the mods. Ogreal25, thank you for the follow. Also, Brandish Words, if you are so inclined, we are playing a Twitch integrated game, so you can join if you are so inclined, with exclamation point join, and then your preferred pronouns he, she, they. And it looks like we've got ourselves another Baron and another Patrician. So we've got 3 Barons, 1 Count, 2 Patricians. Alrighty. Finding a spouse. In the twisty passages of your castle, you can avoid your advisors, the nobles, even the spy master. But there's one person you can't avoid. Your mother. Why haven't you found a spouse yet? It's been almost a year. I've been busy, Mum. You'd better find the time. Don't worry, I'll take the liberty of finding eligible candidates. What is your preference, men, women, or do you not mind? Seeing as we're trying to produce an heir, we're going to have to go with men. Have to run errands? Ah, that's fair, Brandish Words. Alrighty. Excellent. I'll send out messengers to the most influential noble families in the kingdom. Let's see what they have to offer. Alright, end of season. So, we've got a trade bonus. So, the higher your region's trade is, the more likely you are to get the trade bonus, but it's ultimately up to chance. The trade bonus, this one, was for the Barons. The Barons steadfastly deny selling arms to Ashmead for 500 wealth. The other nobles gain 200 wealth. Additionally, I can choose to tax people, or I can bribe people. But I think for now, we're in a good state, so I will just keep it simply on the common tax. Nothing too fancy. Alright. Ooh, follow-up to our jousting event, the Mystery Knight. As you walk the corridors, your spymaster falls into step beside you. She hands you a wooden carving of a figure astride a horse. I hear a mysterious knight called Baroness Katya made quite the impression during the last jousting season in the March. No one knows who she is. The barons want to sell these figures and commercialize the enigmatic jouster. It would be a great deal of money in the area. So we can either sponsor the following, which would help raise trade and would lower defiance, presumably in the March. Or we can dramatically reveal that the Mystery Knight is us, or refuse to let them profit off your achievements. I don't have particularly great chances on either of these. But I don't want to spend the money either. If I fail the check, it's probably going to be a lowered thing, but what the heck? Let's dramatically reveal that we were the Mystery Knight. And swing and a miss. Okay. You make the big announcement with incredible pomp, putting out a proclamation that the mysterious knight was none other than you. But not all the barons are happy that their beloved knight was not actually from the March, even if it is a queen. Well, rip. We tried. Ah, that was hopeful. A fishy wedding. Chancellor. Your Majesty, the Archduke of Sale has invited you to his forthcoming wedding. Your attendance would help shore up relations between our two great nations. Lord Patrician Kenneth Banana. Depths below, great nation, the island of Sail is nothing more than a nest of pirates and cutthroats. And I heard it isn't even a proper marriage anyway. The Archduke is marrying a fish. Lord Patrician Can objects. The groom is a finfolk, one of the denizens of the sea, perfectly sapient and actually amphibious. High Inquisitor. Well, the church doesn't agree with a man marrying a fish. We mustn't legitimize this farce by allowing the queen to attend. So, we can either... Ooh, okay. Damn it, I like my faith. Then again, I know there's some... Having good relations with foreign neighbors would be good. But also having more faith would be good. I'm gonna put... I have to prefer what helps me, but... We have a variety of options here. Count Meowmans is, of course, the queen should attend the wedding. Patrician Can is with me, as well as a couple of others. Ooh, we've actually got a tied-up vote. And it looks like it's coming out in favor of C. This will hurt our diplomatic relations with the Isle of Sail a bit, but we'll condemn the wedding and sever diplomatic ties with the Isle. Your Majesty, I must protest in the strongest terms. Quite apart from being simply rude, this will inflame tensions between... Quiet you! The council has spoken! You send an angry letter to the Archduke of Sail, decrying the marriage as blasphemous and icky. The patricians are happy with your firm stance, and the church sings your praises. Faith is now devout. Only in the coast. Okay. And we have our eligible options. Queen Mother. I found 3 potential matches for you. 1 eligible young man from each of the kingdom's 3 regions. Choose wisely, you'll be securing a powerful alliance. And a partner for life, to have and to hold, don't forget. I suppose so, but the alliance comes first. Damn, Mom, hardcore. Your mother leads you to the Great Hall, where she's arranged 3 portraits on easels. For now, each is covered by a cloth. Wait, I don't even get to meet them? There's no time for sentiment. You just need a match that befits your station and suits your political needs. She whisks away the cloth from the first portrait. This is Roland, the eldest son of the Eastern Meowmans dynasty. Apparently they had a hell of a time getting him to smile for his portrait. He had a laboratory installed in his castle and spends most of his time there, conducting bizarre experiments. The other counts think he's mad because he treats the peasants far too nicely. He's an intriguing candidate. From the coast we have Quintus, the wealthy heir to Lord Patrician Canet Banana's estate. He spends most of his time in the solitude of his villa, so I know little about him. I like the sound of him. Mysterious. And finally, we have the Marches offering, Jacob, scion of the prestigious Casual Hoy bloodline. A typical baron, really. Loud and brash and self-absorbed, but mostly well-meaning. Unlike most barons, he's got no patience for hunting, prefers to spend his time in an armchair with a good book. He's got a reputation for not giving a damn what anyone thinks of him. He's a good lad. Sounds like a laugh. What do you think? Of course, by picking a candidate, you'll anger the other regions, but you'll gain a lifelong alliance. Those were all some pretty good options. I can't deny. Like, all the regions were bringing their A game. Like, we got Jacob from... Jacob was March. We got Roland rocking, the beard, dreads. Almost sort of like a Viking-esque look for a count. I respect it. Had a hell of a time getting him to smile, and he likes to hold himself up in his lab for long periods at a time. And he likes to treat peasants nicely. I'm not sure how we feel about that. Then we've got the mysterious, enigmatic Quintus from Kenneth Banana's estate. And then we've got Jacob, the Baron who likes to read. Loud and brash and self-absorbed, but mostly well-meaning, but has no patience for hunting and likes to read. We've got some strong contenders here, I can't deny. Like, all the regions truly sent their finest. But I think I'm going to have to go with Jacob. We're going to take Jacob. I'm sorry, I know the East is getting a little insolent, but he is a good lad. Excellent. I'll make the arrangements. Alright, in this season, hiding from the church. In a tiny village far to the east, two counts meet in a derelict tavern. No one dares even glance in their direction. Count Myamins. Another priest left my estate today. He said there was no sense preaching to the truly lost. Luda. I've heard the same across the east. We are no longer trapped under the church's thumb. Now we must not falter. If the queen grows proud, we can offer her the ultimate reward. Immortality. For the next stage of their scheme, the counts must raise authority to 5 or more in 4 seasons. Oh, put me in a bind. Jeez, okay. Wallowing in corruption. In a dingy seaside tavern, 2 patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. Lord Patrician Can. Blood, ashes, and damnation. Sea and storm take us all. Rhoda. Whatever is the matter? I offered cash to the palace official, and he acted like I was trying to give him head lice. It doesn't surprise me. The Queen's authority is quite respected. You're lucky he didn't turn you over to the Watch. So there's no room for some good old-fashioned bribery? What is this world coming to? The patrician's aim is to lower authority to 4 or less. Alright, and next season we should be getting the check for barons, because that was 3 seasons for both of theirs. Now then, we've got swing votes. Ooh, reverse voting is a hilarious one. Like the voice you make for angry patricians? Nice job, thank you. I like to think I have a little bit of voice acting talent, though I'm still definitely working on it. Uh-oh. Well, it looks like the coast is getting raided, and there's pointless parades. For now, we're going to go with the wedding. You know, who doesn't love a good wedding? Your wedding to Jacob is, naturally, the talk of the kingdom. Nobles and peasants alike travel from across the realm to attend. For a week and a day, the capital is one giant party. Feels like you're the only one not taking part. Instead, you're getting ready for the ceremony. Soon enough, you're standing in St. Bertrand's Cathedral with Jacob at your side. Do you take this man as your lawfully wedded husband? I do. Then I pronounce you queen and husband. After the wedding, of course, there's a feast, and after the feast, a dance. Your new husband Jacob dances so vigorously that he spills wine all over himself. By the time you find yourself alone with Jacob, it's past midnight, and you've never felt more tired. Good God! I am so drunk, and yet somehow not drunk enough. Time for more wine. Oh, I see no reason to object. Servants, bring us wine. That's the spirit. Let's see here. What did you think of the wedding? It was damned beautiful from start to finish, wasn't it? I had a whale of a time. What do you like to do in your spare time? Books, books, and more books. The written word is faster than any ship. She'll transport you halfway across the world in a heartbeat. Shall we go to bed together? No time like the present, eh? He swigs back the last dregs of his wine and leads you to bed. Let's go! Marriage is off to a great start. Now then. Let's see here. Let's try Pointless Parades first. I know Sailors Privateers is going to hurt. So maybe this doesn't hurt as much. Marshal. Your Majesty, I worry that our newly built stadium in the east is encouraging bad habits among the eastern soldiers. They're getting complacent. Too much time is devoted to pointless parades and chest thumping and flag waving. We need fighters who know how to use their polearms, not just polish them. What can we do about it? Send me over there. I can toughen up these soldiers again. First step, shut down the damn parades. Count Meowmans. By Signius Ashes, we like the parades. They're a perfect demonstration of Eastern military might. We love parades, yep. Alright, so we can send the Marshal to replace parades with a rigorous training regimen, which will lower authority, raise military. We can actually double the number of Eastern parades, which will lower their military and raise authority. Or we can unleash monsters into the stadium during the next parade. You need army? Yes, I do. So I'm thinking for now, we're going to veto doubling the number of parades. Like, Meowmans, I know you like parades. I know the counts adore their parades. You might still have parades, but we're not doubling the number of parades. We're not going to double the number of parades. So we've got A or C. No, the parade. There could still be parades. We're just not doubling the parades. Ooh. Meowmans, I thought you liked parades. Voting A? To replace your parades? Alrighty. Looks like it's going to be A. We don't need danger. Thank you, Your Majesty. I'll fix this leaky boat. You mean I won't get to watch my shiny soldiers march around anymore? Drakhov's bones! The Marshal proves as good as her word. Once she arrives in the east, she has the soldiers crossing assault courses instead of parade grounds. Her efforts quickly pay off. Military is now strong in the east. However, the peasant folk, who enjoyed the parades almost as much as the counts, rumble with discontent. Because the soldiers are less visible than before, rumors spread that the army is weaker, even though you know they're better than ever. That's the so-called wisdom of crowds, you suppose. Authority is now credible. Okay. And now for the event that's probably going to hurt. Salish Privateers. Lord Patrician Kenneth Banana. Your esteemed highness, it's terrible. Pirates have been going after all our merchant vessels. I'm nearly bankrupt. I dare say you are bankrupt, Kenneth Banana. Spymaster. These are typical Salish tactics, Your Majesty. The Archduke was infuriated by your response to his wedding, and he's getting revenge the only way he knows how. Piracy. Unfortunately, that's only speculation. We have no concrete evidence that these are Salish ships. So we can either threaten war against Sale, hire privateers of our own, send the Royal Navy to patrol the Ghost Sea and protect shipping routes, or send a gift and a note of apology to the Archduke of Sale. I mean, it could be fun to go to war. No. We don't need to conquer Sale. But what if we did, though? No. Alright, I leave it up to you, my nobles. Let thy will be known. I got a couple threats of war against Sale. Counts what to hire privateers of our own. Barons are looking to use the Royal Navy to patrol the Ghost Sea and protect shipping routes. It's a 25% military roll. Alright. Voting tied at 2. I mean, strictly speaking, there's a 25% chance that we could just, succeed. We need justice? This is true. Yeah, they've been harming our ships. Guns blazing. Guns blazing. Let's do it. Threaten war against Sal. Protecting our shipping routes is one thing, but we go all out. Let's do it. Threats aren't enough. Ah, I see. Your guns blazing was not for that. Without any proof of sales involvement, your saber rattling is met with international scorn. You don't have justification for war, and your threats are empty. Authority is now dubious. Pirates continue to devastate your trade routes, and the nobles whisper that the Archduke of Sale has made you look like a fool. Trade is now dynamic. So this is the part where we go conquer Sale. I can't help but be curious, what is the maximum number of wars you could get into? Because I know one of the events you can get is War versus Ashmead. There's also War versus Tavalin, I remember. Though Tavalin has all kinds of spy masters, and they're real nasty about it. Ashmead's the one I know you meet up on the field. I'm not sure about the others, though. That'd be interesting to try in a playthrough, just see how much we could conquer, if that's even a thing. For now, we end the season. In a distant fortress, amidst dark and foreboding forests, a small squat castle stands watch over the Marcher border. There, at the end of the kingdom, a plot is hatching. Kim. Ha! The kingdom's militaries are in shambles. Those pathetic weaklings couldn't fight their way through a field of rabbits. Baron Skynet. I've drafted the reform proposals as planned. The council will be more than happy to follow our lead. Good, but we must ensure they don't get skittish. The kingdom must be stable for our proposal to work. Grand. A calm before the storm. For the next stage of the Baron's scheme, they must raise stability to 5 or more in 2 seasons. Ooh. Wallowing in corruption. In a dingy seaside tavern, 2 patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. Lord Patrician Can. Good news, my friend. The palace officials have been accepting my bribes. They're becoming more and more open to corruption. What are you getting in return? Oh, not much. A better seat in the council chambers. Access to the Queen's room when she's out. That sort of thing. But the important thing is that the Queen's staff are getting used to selling their principles to the highest bidder. So what's next? Paris staff are one thing, but the true prize would be the loyalty of the Chancellor and the rest of the Queen's inner circle. To do that, we need to demolish their respect for the Queen. If the kingdom is in chaos, they will see the ocean... Jesus, sorry. I don't know why I read that Q as an O. If the kingdom is in chaos, they will see the Queen as an incompetent fool and be much more open to our bribes. To advance their scheme, the patricians must lower stability to 4 or less in 3 seasons. Wow! These are hella binds that I am being put into. Stability's 5 or higher, the barons enter endgame. Stability 4 or lower, the patricians enter endgame. Jeez. Those are quite the binds. A late night visit. One evening, you're sorting through paperwork in your office when Baron Algril 25 appears at the door, swaying slightly and stinking of booze. Baron Algril. Your Majesty, so sorry to speak to you in this condition. Let me get you a glass of water. Glass of whiskey, did you say?
Don't mind if I do. Anyway, I just need to tell you, if the Archbishop asks you about what happened to his hat, tell him I'll pay for a new one. I was desperate, and the privy was occupied.
Baron Agriel, did you... Did you defile the Archbishop's hat as a chamber pot? They stumble away, knocking over a priceless vase. You make a mental note to charge them for the damage. It's surely not a coincidence that the Archbishop arrives at your throne room the next day, looking even grumpier than usual and hatless.
Your Majesty, there is a plague afflicting this kingdom, a curse more powerful than any a wizard could cast. I speak, of course, of alcohol. People are spending their evenings in alehouses rather than in prayer. We must ban this vile vice.
No such laws will be passed. Limit the opening hours of taverns or make the sale of alcohol illegal. Let's just go ahead and, I guess, I would prefer to just, you know, we can't clearly, just ban alcohol. Like, that would be crazy. Don't get, you know, like, we love a good, good pint, but we also clearly need to do something because he's upset. So we can limit the opening hours a little bit. We can check. Potter. Sounds like my dad. Memes. Alright. 10 seconds left. Let thy will be known. Let us be reasonable. Exactly. Let's be reasonable here. Voting tied at 2. Oh yeah, because they made Monarch's Choice count as a vote. Today's youth are not what they used to be. We need to limit / control them. Brutal. Alright, well, I'm going with my Monarch's Choice. We're going to limit the opening hours of taverns. Getting 1984 vibes. Come on, we're not banning alcohol. You know, but we can limit the taverns a little bit. You order that ale houses close by 10 o'clock. Throughout the land, drunkards are tossed out into the streets early and wander around causing trouble. The Archbishop is right about one thing, though. Fewer hangovers means more people attending church. Faith goes up. And it looks like we've got 2 events over here in the east. We've got a heretical discovery. High Inquisitor. Your esteemed Highness, I bring troubling news. Someone took the Ninth's name in vain again? Not quite, Your Highness. A group of individuals in the East are meeting in secret to preach heretical teachings and engage in rituals. They are adherents to the cult of the Undivided. They believe that the Ninth God did not destroy the eight deposed gods, but is in fact all of them joined together in unholy union. Pure sacrilege! Regrettably, I require the Council's permission to launch a proper investigation. Otherwise, my Inquisitors would have destroyed the cult before it had a chance to spread. Ooh, I don't have the authority to give my express permission, apparently. Also, welcome others. I will go ahead and pull up the noble list, so that way we can see where people have been filtered into. Let's see here. So it looks like we got 3 to a faction now. So things have been balanced out. Well, let's host a vote on the matter. So, for those who are just now joining in, we have modernization scheme for the barons. They are trying to currently reduce the stability, or raise the stability, to at least 5. And the corruption scheme of the patricians is trying to lower stability. And then the counts are going for ascension, so they want to raise the kingdom's authority to at least 5. So, We can either send Inquisitors into the east to investigate the cult, deny the Inquisition access to the east, or repeal the law that prevents the High Inquisitor investigating at will. I love faith. I am just so faithful to the ninth god. The ninth provides. Oh, good lord. We're actually going to become Darkest Timeline. Just creating 40k, essentially. With crazy Inquisition. I want my cult gatherings and you ruined it? I'm sorry. I'm just so faithful that, let's see here. Alright. Ooh, okay. Raising Defiance is a little oof. I don't necessarily want to lower my stability, though. I need to, like... I want to keep these decently high. Alright. You know what? Let's go Grimdark. It's time for the Darkest Timeline. We are going to repeal the law that prevents the High Inquisitor from investigating at will. Long live the Inquisition, everybody. Faith is now fanatical, zealous, devout. Whoo! And places are angry. Oh, jeez. Raised by 2 in all regions. Oof, okay. Well, in attempting to dodge dodge the possibility of rebellion, I have now opened up the potential for rebellion. Ain't that just real 40k right there? The unexpected legal changes sows division and discord among the nobles, many of whom are flabbergasted by the increase in the Inquisition's already formidable powers. The High Inquisitor, meanwhile, wastes no time in rooting out the cultists of the Undivided and bringing them to justice. The fetid corpses of the heretics are soon swaying from the battlements of Svetaz, the town where the cult had begun. Let's go. Oh, speaking of which, a dangerous cult. Count Epic Twitch account. I guess we'll go Count Epic for short. The priests bring ever more concerning reports of a wild cult at large in the east. These fanatics call themselves the 8th Chapter, and they claim to have found the arm of a dead god. Nonsense. Or blasphemy. Possibly both.
Church attendance is already down, and with it, tithes. We can hardly manage without tithes. This heresy cannot stand. The council must do something to stop it.
So, we can either summon the High Inquisition to break this cult, discreetly dispatch a spy to find out more, or wait and see. These things usually die by themselves. Let thy will be known, my nobles. Just know that if we raise Count Defiance, there's a solid chance of rebellion. Because they'll become harder and harder to control. It's all about tithes. Why can't they live off being piggybacked by the monarchy? Memes. It's just, you know, this queen is so devout. Truly. Alright. Well, voting is closed. And we are summoning the High Inquisitor to break this cult. We've already had her break one. What's another? High Inquisitor. I will make them see the true light of the Ninth, esteemed members of the Council. Over the weeks, word reaches the Council that the High Inquisitor is altogether too enthusiastic. She escalates panic by hanging anyone who dares mention the cult's existence. Eesh. Okay. Yeah, speaking of, you know, gone mad with power, Inquisitor, that's just, whew. That jawline is pretty nice, not gonna lie, on the Queen, of course. Of course. Alright, and it is auction time. So, For those who are uninitiated, though I believe everyone here is, you can use !fund, then the letter of the building you want to fund, and then the amount of money you want to give to it. You can build buildings from other regions. Only the 2 most funded buildings get built. Let's go ahead and start this auction. You got a minute. Just know that there might be like a 1 to 2 second delay, roughly, just because of Wi-Fi stuff when it comes to putting in like bids. So if you're going to try and snipe last second, just beware. All right. So far we've got 600 on C and D, raising faith and authority. I love faith. Yeah, we got C and D sitting at 600 each. We got 24 seconds left. Ooh, we got 800 on A, raising stability with a library. So far we've got A and C. 1,200 on A, 900 coming in for E. Prison is getting real boosted up. We got 1,500 for the prison, 1,300 for the library. Time is up. Buildings funded. We have the prison, whose biggest contributor was Lord Patrician Can with 900. And then we've got the library, which was the biggest contributor of Baron Skynet. All right, continue to the rebellion reports. So, nowhere is in rebellion, but the East is on the verge of rebellion. So, for now, end the season. Is it didn't lose my money? Yep, if your building doesn't get funded, you don't lose the money. Alright. About your heir. Ooh, your marriage to Jacob has grown stale. Oh, you get along well enough, and you've made some good memories together, but there's no spark. He cares more about his stupid books than your happiness. But spark or no spark, you still need an heir. Congratulations are in order. The royal wedding was a magnificent affair. Thank you, Queen Mother. It went about as well as could be expected. You're still in power, aren't you? Still got the crown on your head? That's what matters. You've done well so far, but something's still missing. An heir. You need someone young, whose loyalty is assured. A child of your own would do the trick, even if they're a bastard, or the youngest of your many cousins. Pretty sure I have a bastard child laying around somewhere. You think? Queen Mara. I hate to be overstepping my bounds, but I believe you would remember if you had a bastard child somewhere. Ooh, Meowman saying down with the 9th. That is a bold statement in this chat. Are all religious? Beware of inquisitions. Beware of rebellion. Ooh, them be fighting words. And your scheme is about to advance, too. One thing to note is if you enter a rebellion, your scheme gets stalled. And if another faction completes their scheme, the scheme overrides the rebellion, even if they both would win on the same turn. Just to remember. Alright, so my husband and I will have a child together. Ah, the traditional method. No one will object to that. I'll arrange for you to take a month off from ruling so you can get down to business. Alright, and the Troubled Inquisitor. Archbishop.
Your Majesty, despite our Inquisition's efforts, the cult problem worsens. There have been explosions under several eastern cities. This is shaking faith in the church.
Count? Sorry. Never mind the church. I've been shaking the foundations of my...
It's been shaking the foundations of my mansion.
High Inquisitor.
Your Majesty, this heresy, this 8th chapter, it must be rooted out. I require more resources.
So, we can either send royal soldiers back with her to the east, tell her to stop complaining and to do her job, or call the Inquisition off. It's done more harm than good.
No.
We are warriors for the 9th god. And My goodness, are we faithful? How could we even consider calling off the Inquisition? No, no, no. This must be done. We continue the war for the faith. Yes, of course, Captain Big Karma. Yes. We are champions of the faith. We must bring down the 8th chapter in the name of the 9th god. Alright. Voting has closed. We're sending royal soldiers back with her to the east. It's not like she's gone power mad at all, you know? Your wisdom is without equal, your majesty. So, faith goes up, defiance goes down. Your marshal makes arrangements to send a battalion of the royal army with the High Inquisitor's mission. Oh boy. Let's see here. And strange crops out here in the patricians. Lord Patrician, Cap Big Karma. The harvest in the coast has been an utter disaster. Look at this turnip. Let me take a look. The turnip is riddled with rot and twisted into the grotesque shape of a skull. Half the harvest is like this. We need help if we're to get through the winter. Farming is now meager. It's almost harvesting season. This is probably nothing to worry about. Send scholars from Quail University to investigate. Raid the other region's granaries to support the patricians. Or raid granaries and send scholars. Okay. I think that we should send scholars from Quail University to investigate what exactly is going on. Because simply making the other regions poorer hurts the kingdom as a whole. While the patricians are struggling in the farming department, they are not the only ones. The barons are also struggling, and we can't just simply steal it all from the counts. That's unfair to them. So I believe we need to send scholars to investigate. That will be known, my nobles. Alright, we got 10 seconds left. 5 and counting. Ooh, it's gonna come down to a tie from the looks of it. Voting tied at 4. So, we can either send scholars, or we can raid granaries and send scholars. I am not looking to raise the defiance of the counts further, so we are going to send the scholars. Lord Patrician, Cat Big Karma. By the 9th, we need grain, not wizened old men to look at our blighted crops and mumble to each other about weather patterns. You send a fleet of scholars from the university to examine the fields and the coast. Whether or not the mystery is solved, a bleak winter lies ahead. Farming is now starving. Whew. It's tough. For now, we end the season. Military reforms. In the Grand Hall of Baron Skynet's castle, a number of figures are hunched around the hearth, plodding away. Baron Skynet.
This is a disaster. We'll never get these military reforms passed.
Kim. Calm yourself. There's plenty of time. This brief period of turmoil will be over soon enough. The Baron's aim is to raise stability to at least 5. Epic Twitch account, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Alright, so we've got tax options now. It's tax time. Also, the trade bonus we've got for the counts. Cat Big Karma, thank you also for the follow. Alright, so the counts sell unused tracts of land to the Adventurers Guild for 500 wealth. Other nobles gain 200 wealth. So, we've got... Let's see here. As much as I hate to admit it, We may need to bribe the counts. They're already rolling in dough. But we do need to lower that defiance. You know? Never? Oh. Never, say the barons. Surely they must be taxed. We hold against them? I do hate to say it, my barons, but their military is almost equivalent to yours, which is a terrifying prospect. They are up to 6 military. Let's see here. They wouldn't dare rebel. We have no intention of rebelling without some money incentive. I will hold my rebel vote. Oh. Simply unfair to the majority. Give us more soldiers. Could work. Or we could see about potentially helping out our patricians, maybe. Cruel all, maybe. Cruel all, says Casual Ahoy. Oh, man. Cruel all. That would be certainly something. I'd be literally... Assuming this is this updating live? No, this is not. I would literally be bankrupting all but one of the patricians. I won't rebel as long as they get their scheme. This is true. They are about to advance scheme whenever the season count passes. I don't have enough money to pay this tax. Well, you know what that means. If you're not going to pay your taxes, you'll have to go to the dungeons. But you are quite faithful. The patricians are very faithful. Don't tax your military. What happened to cruel tax all? I am worried, though, about the defiance of the counts. Because while they will be entering the end game, I don't think they're the only one entering end game here soon. Yeah, the patricians will also be entering end game. And depending on the options both sides are presented, the counts might still opt for rebellion. Don't tax your military. Wasn't my idea. Counts have most money. So what are you proposing? Tax the rich. So you would say put you simply on the common tax, my barons, and cruel tax everyone else? Well, I suppose if we're taxing the rich, then I couldn't tax the patricians any harder. In fact, those poor broke patricians may even need a bailout, potentially, you know? I'm sure they definitely don't have any of their money hiding away in banks on the Iron Isles or anything. Some of those barons are looking pretty rich to me. Ooh. Admittedly, there are some pretty rich barons out there. Could really use the money, Your Highness. They could need some help. It is true. They did just lose all their farming. So I suppose we could help subsidize the patricians, seeing as they are going through quite the hardship recently. You know, they've been getting raided on the coast, by the Salish privateers. But, my patricians, one thing I must say is if I do help you in this way, with this bailout, we cannot just tank the stability to 0. We cannot let the kingdom collapse. We need to maintain some sense of order, at least. We are faithful, yet our fields are barren, our military is weak, and we are poor. Yes, we will help out our patricians in this time of need. Common tax the counts. Ooh. Now, that's a bold one. Or we rebel. Ooh. Hmm. Yeah, he's pulling that out. He's pulling out the rebellion card because they have access to that. It's yeah. If we cruel tax them, then their defiance goes higher and they can rebel. That said, I think how it stands at the moment, the defiance has to be above the other stuff. So while they had it for a season, I think if we common tax, they should at the very least be brought to heel. We will crush you with the help of our God King Emperor. Yes, in my glorious Inquisition. But I think we should be okay with common tax. So we're going to help out our patricians because they're on the struggle bus, and we are simply going to keep the common tax, I think. It's only fair for this. We are defiant. It'll only grow with this action. Yeah, if we cruel tax them, they'd have enough to rebel. So I think we can bring them to heel with the common tax. So I'm going to go ahead and lock it in. Let's do it. Alright. Uh-oh. Got a whole bunch of capital events, and none of them are my heir. We could just raise authority in the next vote. The issue with raising authority is they are trying to advance their scheme through authority as well. And seemingly that hasn't gone off yet, which is interesting. But the rebellion option is gone. Because authority is, decent enough, they are kept in line. It's it's getting dicey, though. For now, let's do prying eyes. Count Meowmans. Your Grace, you are, of course, the greatest queen of this century. My thank you. No thanks required, Your Highness. I speak only the truth as I see plain. But your power could be even greater. Death comes for us all. But what if it didn't have to? What if you could be the greatest queen for all millennia? That sounds sacrilegious. Perhaps it is, Your Grace, but perhaps it's simply making use of the opportunities the Ninth God provides. If you are strong enough to take them, I can arrange more meetings. That way we may discuss this matter further. The door bursts open. High Inquisitor. Ah! So he got to you first. No matter. The Counts have agents everywhere, and they've been building up your strength. But there's something more sinister afoot. Their ultimate aim is to recruit you into a cult of immortal blood drinkers. What a tale. All we want is to help the Queen. Is this true? Of course not. This is heresy of the highest order. The Council must know. So, we can force the monarch to officially refuse to join this cult, prevent the counts from seeking private audiences with the queen, which should delay the schemes for one season, or leave the counts to their business. Greatest queen of all time, perhaps. Ooh. If we want to be the God Queen Emperor of all mankind, we do have to attain that kind of godly status, you know? That said, let's see. The crown must not be corrupted by such powers. True. If I stay faithful to the Ninth, surely my faith will preserve me into perpetuity. You know? This is only one count saying it. It does not show for all counts. Ooh. So Count Meowmans wants to recruit me into the cult of blood drinkers, but that might not be how all the counts feel. I see. Well, here I was thinking of vetoing A. I suppose I'll just have to leave it open. Let thy will be known, my nobles. You can lower my authority by forcing me to officially refuse it. We could prevent such meetings, or We're going to leave the council to their business. Alright. Voting is done. It will preserve you in memory, not in life. Ayo! Alright, force the monarch to officially refuse to join this cult. The nobles leave you no choice. You sign a statement saying that you're not interested in immortality, not one bit. Authority is now dubious. Okay. A den of corruption. Spymaster. Your Majesty, I was recently accosted in the halls of the royal palace by Lord Patrician Can. Oh no. Did you have to make small talk? No, Your Majesty. I was at least spared that fate. Your Majesty, I'm pretty sure he offered me a bribe. It was subtle, but the offer was there. If he's bold enough to offer me a bribe, you can be assured the rest of your advisors have also been approached. Even the Chancellor? Even the Chancellor. Even the Marshal? Even the Marshal. Even the Treasurer? Especially the Treasurer. I'm awaiting word from my little birds, but my instinct is that you can trust the Chancellor. The rest of them, I'm not so sure. We need to call a vote to see if we can stop this sort of behavior from becoming commonplace. So we can crack down on bribery with punishing fines, send accountants to scrutinize the Lord Patrician Can's books, or do nothing. Bribery isn't necessarily evil. So we would need to, let's see here, we would need to get 3 stability, which is scary. But if we get 3 stability, then we're advancing. It's tough. Because if we hit 5 stability, then it's modernization. If we hit 4 stability, it's still corruption. We could crack down on bribery, though, for the treasury bonus, and then see about maybe making use of that. Alright, let thy will be known. What are we thinking, my nobles? So far, we've got an even split vote. I think the treasury could use a bit more gold. Money is nice, I can't deny. Alright. Voting tied at 2. I can't deny. I do like the sounds of a well-stocked treasury. So we're going to crack down on bribery with punishing fines. As a result of the crackdown, nearly all the nobles of the council are implicated in some kind of scandal. That means plenty of coin for your treasury, but also plenty of resentment about the new laws. Oh boy! No one likes that I'm stopping corruption in the government? How could this be? Oh wow, that only raised stability by 1. Jeez. The Warlock's letter. Spymaster. A strange letter has arrived, Your Majesty. I think it must be from Etreveon de Opry. You reach out your hand to take the letter, and it bursts into flames. Your Spymaster throws the burning missive to the ground, and in the next moment it morphs into a screeching spirit made of living fire. Cont Epic. Witchcraft! Witchcraft! Speak, apparition! Have out with your devilry! A voice like iron dragged over hot coals proclaims, I hear you wish to kill my master. I know you tried, you pig. Meet with my master at his temple beneath the god's good ground, or he will drown the east in blood. The burning spirit takes flight and begins to circle the council chamber. Count Epic. We will have no parley with this madman. Tell this abomination to be gone. Spymaster. I have a notion, Your Majesty. A parley would present the perfect opportunity to ambush the 8th chapter's inner circle. So, we can either agree to an honest meeting with Atrevion, use the meeting as an ambush, or refuse the meeting and take up arms. Ooh. Delay is very bad. Okay. I voted as soon as I saw the vote start, and vote never went through. Gotcha. Okay. I will, I'll let it linger for a little bit longer, just to make sure that everybody can get their piece in. Voting is live. 25 seconds. What's it going to be, Council? We must destroy the heathens? Yes, in the name of the ninth god. Then again, raising stability could be nice, but we're going to use the meeting as an ambush. Let us destroy the evil warlocks. Yes, of course. The Inquisition never stops. Alright. The burning spirit shrieks and then dives at the floor. It vanishes in a shower of sparks. Wait, we plotted the ambush right in front of it? Your spy master approaches the scorch mark and looks amazed. This is a map. This is the place and time you're to meet the warlock. And there we'll plunge as many knives as we can find into his back. Quite. I'll gather my agents to the east and have them scout the area. Oh boy. We're picking a fight with a warlock. Truth and lies. While playing a game of chess in an austere castle, two counts of the east discuss their schemes against the crown. Count Meowmans. How delightful. The queen is drunk with power. But I was thinking, should we really show the queen the true secrets of our group? Luda. I thought that was the point. Immortality and all that. Yes, but those secrets are meant to be, well, kept secret. What if we pulled the wool over her eyes? So, you can either plan a false immortality ritual that will kill her, lower own defiance, or induct the queen into the real secret society of immortal blood drinkers, raise own farming. Might also be picking a fight with the counts. Oh. Depending on what the counts pick here, they can either lower their defiance, or they can make the actual, god, god queen empress of mankind. Which it seems might be the goal. Induct the queen into the real secret society of immortal blood drinkers. Very well. We must prepare for the ritual. Yes, I'll begin appeasing the spirits of the soil. But first we must enrich our lands. By the blood of the dead, it won't be long now. For the final stage of their scheme, the counts must raise their farming to at least 9. We need a truly eternal queen. Oh boy. At the villa. Sitting on a bench outside a sun-bleached villa, two patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. Lord Patrician Can. Greetings, Lord Patrician. I'd like to introduce you to some friends of mine. Treasure. Good afternoon, noble patricians. A pleasure, as always. Marshal. Hello? Is this the place? Ugh. Smells like fish. Rhoda. Wow, I take it you found my colleague's arguments most persuasive, then. Indeed, Lord Patrician Can made some excellent points about the Queen's incompetence. The most persuasive part was the giant bag of gold. Unfortunately, the Spymaster and Chancellor still remain beyond our grasp, but with these two in our pocket, we can do great things. We just need to decide our approach. So, you can either bankrupt the kingdom and buy the throne outright, lower the treasury, or bring down the queen in a bribery scandal, raise others' defiance. I don't like either of these options. These are both mean. We got about 10 seconds left. I know we've got a bit of a delay going on though, so I will wait beyond the timer to let people get their votes in. Alright, that said, Yeah, with three patricians. Yeah, it's unanimous anyway. But all right, bring down the queen in a bribery scandal. Raise others' defiance. So after all this, our plan is to make the queen look like the corrupt one. Yes, after all, isn't her court absolutely rotten with bribes and scandals? Worse than it's been in centuries. Of course it is, and we're to blame. The general public don't need to know that part. We just need to ensure that the other nobles hate the queen enough to support our version of events. For the final stage of their scheme, the patricians must raise the other region's defiance to a combined total of at least 13, or ensure another region begins rebellion. So, if anyone rebels, patricians win. And they've got, let's see here, 8 plus 7. Ooh, yikes. They've got 15 defiance. Or no, okay, it only checks the other 2 regions. Oh, my heart. I thought their own personal grudges towards me also counted. Ha! This is fine. This is fine. Let's see here. Also, one thing I have learned about Monarch's Golden Choice. The 500 personal wealth only is given if that option ends up being selected, which is rather interesting. Because I'm not sure why the tooltip doesn't entirely reflect that, but simply choosing the Monarch's Choice doesn't get you the 500. Call for Unity? Call for Unity would be good. Monarch's Iron Choice, though. We could be proper iron-fisted. We'll take Call for Unity. Let's do it. Rebellion report. The counts are on the verge of rebellion, but technically they're not. Because if they rebel, then they give it to the patricians. Alright, let's see here. Where's my third event? Ah, here it is. Food riots. Okay. Well, parley with the cult. Here we go. In the dead of the night, you begin a secret journey to meet with the 8th chapter in the east. It's just you, your spy master, and your honor guard disguised as common soldiers, rattling away in the back of a worn cart for 100 miles. At a wooded grove, you are greeted by a gaggle of wild-eyed folk with a number 8 branded into their foreheads. They push a giant boulder away to reveal a cave entrance. Spymaster, be on your guard, Your Majesty. You are led down a long tunnel, at the end of which rests an enormous metal arm, like the limb of a fallen giant. A Trevion stands atop it. I am a Trevion d'Opre. They call me the Father in the East. Welcome, Your Majesty. I am pleased you chose to meet with me. You bear witness to his arm, the arm of the 8th. Surely, you must now believe the prophecy. Oh, geez. 40 and 50% chances? Okay. So, I think we just take the coin flip. I think that's just the better way to do it. Good of you to meet me. Foolish of you to surround yourself with untrained peasants. Your spymaster gives 3 sharp whistles, and a swarm of your spies descend from the shady tunnels around the cavern. Challenge succeeded. We are betrayed! Fight, my followers! Kill them all! The warlock scrambles to stand. Your spymaster seizes him from behind and cleanly cuts his throat. A Trevion d'Opre sags into the dirt. I hope I didn't get any blood on your robes, Your Majesty. Yes, look at this frightful. By the 9th, that was risky. No risk, no reward, Your Majesty. We won. The warlock is dead. By the time you return to the capital, reports of the warlock's death are everywhere. The Church of the 9th endures. Faith is now fanatical. Defiance is now aggrieved. Stability is now teetering. Authority is now commanding. Let's go! We win those coin flips! Holy shit. Whew. That was tense. Who knows what would have happened if we failed. Alright, let's deal with the... we'll deal with the food riots in a moment. A new discovery. The scholars you sent to investigate the strange harvest in the coast have finally returned. Scholar. Our tests came back negative. The blighted fields were dozens of miles apart, often with completely different crops. We only found one thing in common. Yes? The plowshares. They were all forged from iron from the same mine, owned by Lord Patrician Catbig Karma. But that couldn't be the cause. It's impossible. Servants, fetch Lord Patrician Catbig Karma, would you? Lord Patrician Catbig Karma. What is the meaning of this interruption, Your Esteemed Highness? I was in the middle of brunch. Have you noticed anything unusual at your iron mine? Well, the ore's been odd recently. The miners say they hear whispering in their mines when they pull it from the rock, that kind of thing. And you didn't see fit to tell anyone about this? Miners are a superstitious lot, Your August Majesty. They're constantly complaining about ghosts and ghouls and all manner of bogarts in the tunnels. We must inform the council. Don't make me close down my mine. I'll be ruined. So we can either close down the mine at once or send the ore to Quail University for examination. Now you see, the smart option here would be to close the mine. However, I love democracy. Let that will be known. I love democracy. I love the council. I love the process of bureaucracy. 1984? Hell yeah. Memes. Alright, voting is closed. Sending the order Quail. I will fetch a sample at once, Your Majesty. Alright, now food rights. Should have done a call for unity. Yeah, that would have been a decent idea. I mostly just wanted to do the funny veto because there was only two options. Again. Lord Patrician Kenneth Banana. Your esteemed highness, the famine in the coast grows worse by the day. Riots are breaking out in all major townships, from Thalasus to Calport. Starving mobs are pillaging bakeries, granaries, and merchant houses. What are we to do? We can send in the army to control the riots, import mass amounts of food from Tavalin and Kurth. Patrician should buy up the surplus grain from the counts, or order grain supplies to be diverted from the east. Let thy will be known, my nobles, and I'm going to go use the restroom real quick. BRB. Let's see what the nobles have all voted for. Ooh, looks like we're going to be importing mass amounts of food from Tavalin and Kurth. Okay. Hurts the treasury a bit. The treasury is opened and a tide of gold flows out of the kingdom and into the pockets of Talvanese and Kurth merchants. In return, grain floods into the famine-stricken coastal lands. Thank you, your august majesty. Marvelous! The unrest dies down as soon as the rioters have bread again. It's enough to tide the peasants over until the next harvest. Farming is now needful. Let's see here. What's going on in chat? Where's the last patrician? Banana? Dead? Barons did it? Do not influence his vote. Silence, blood drinker. I see. Said, I do not condone this cult. I do not like it. We lost a great man and the vote. It do be like that sometimes. Alright, for now, we end the season. Okay. Monarch still has no heir. It has been like, what, 2-3 seasons since I was like, yeah, me and my husband, we're gonna make an heir. Holy. Which means it's probably coming up this next one, but let's see here. So, the barons are approaching their final stage of scheme, and the others are present at it. It's going to be a close game from the looks of it, though. Oh, please. Yes! Finally! Hey, fellas, you got mid-game joining? Yep. Just exclamation point join, and then your preferred pronoun, and it'll get you put onto a team. Your quest for an heir is finally complete. Yes! Finally! You stand before the council holding a small child in your arms. Should I die, I ask that my crown be passed down to... The council hall is filled with nervous silence. My daughter. The assembled nobles break out into polite applause. By designating an heir, you've cemented the stability of your kingdom. Which puts the stability up. It's going to be a close game. Alright. And looks like we have another patrician. Speaking of which, Lord Patrician Matkatar, Your Serene Highness, may I be the first to congratulate you on the birth of your daughter. What is her name? Mara the Second. Marvelous, Your August Majesty. I'm sure little Mara the Second will grow up to be a chip off the old block. Congratulations on finding an heir. Now you just need to fulfill your ambition to win the game. Expect a visit from the Spymaster soon. Whew, okay. So, I'm entering endgame-ish. The Barons are about to enter endgame, and the others are in endgame. Weird it ain't reading my Steam. You might need to boot up the game and make sure that you have your Twitch account linked in the game. Even if you're not like using the Twitch account to stream it, I think you still need to link it up in the actual app. Don't quote me on that, though. Scholar. If it pleases your majesty, we have salvaged that limb of the eighth god that Etrevion de Opry drew power from. It rests now within my workshop. This so-called arm of God is actually a machine from a long-extinct civilization. We have so little evidence of ancient technology, I think it prudent to study the contraption. How interesting. High Inquisitor. And in your observations, learned woman, had the danger of this heresy not crossed your mind? It must be destroyed, your majesty. The matter is simple. So, we can either let the scholar study the arm of God, break apart the arm of God and sell it off, or utterly destroy the arm of God. Ooh. We've got some interesting options here, actually. Well, but they will be known, my nobles. High Inquisitor is right. I'm curious what the nobles think. Surely you all would vote to destroy this thing. Surely. Surely there's not heretics among us, and surely they wouldn't call themselves out. Who among you can say that your faith has never wavered? Who among you stands with the ninth god? There's heretics afoot among the counts and the barons. Voting has closed. Let the scholars study the arm. Our heretics, here they are. This is utterly unacceptable, beyond the pale. Faith is now zealous. Ah, how delightful. I'm glad the council is so keen to advance the sciences. Some months later, the scholar calls you to her workshop and presents a new invention. She calls it the Rail Bombard. The contraption is the longest cannon you've ever seen. There are steel wheels all along its length, and at its rear, a pair of strange, humming anvils. The barrels point up through a skylight in the workshop. What in Celeste Ath is this? It will be easier to show you, Your Majesty. Load the bombard! A hatch above the anvils is swung open by an assistant, while two others load an odd, oblong cannonball into the barrel. When they turn cranks on each anvil, the humming grows louder and louder. We made a goddamn magic railgun? In a few moments, the wheels turn until they are whirring. Lightning passes up and down. In another moment, the assistants suddenly pull the cranks from the anvils, and a sound like thunder is heard. Quite fascinating, wouldn't you agree, Your Majesty? As you watch a long shot fly past the clouds, chased by electricity, you worry where it may land. The East have acquired a powerful new weapon of war. Military is unbeatable. They made a goddamn howitzer out of the arm of a god. That's metal as shit. That's so badass. I've never actually seen that event. This is how I like my sacrilege. I like my How do you like your sacrilegious behavior? Pointed at Ashmead. You are heathens. But you may be onto something. And you gave the people who threatened rebellion the best army in the kingdom. Army? No, but weapon that can destroy armies remotely at any given distance. Yeah. Comet sighting. We'll shoot it down. Baron Casualhoy. Blood-red comet was spotted in the night sky over the march, Your Highness. The common folk are claiming it as a terrible omen. Common folk are on the verge of panic. Is there anything I can do? Nice eye patch. Let's see here. We will tell the church to dispel such baseless superstitions. 85%. Fingers crossed. Challenge succeeded. The priest of the march preached that the comet is actually a good omen due to a new interpretation of an obscure cluster of stars. Faith challenge succeeded. Faith is now fanatical. Stability is now steady. Fortunately, the church is trusted enough in the march that the peasants believe their pastors. The comet is celebrated as a sign of the ninth god's favor. And it probably wasn't actually a comet. It was the strange oblong projectile we launched into low orbit around the planet. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's the cannonball. Yeah, exactly. In the season, military reforms. After several rounds of deliberations, the council approves wide-ranging reforms to the kingdom's standing armies. The Barons of the March are set to be the major contributors to this new model army, having volunteered their expertise and manpower in these trying times. The Baron's newfound position of authority brings riches to the March, merchants seeking to sell arms, mercenaries seeking employment, and even young peasants looking to defend their kingdom. Trade is now prosperous. Meanwhile, in a foreboding Marcher fortress, the Barons are celebrating. Kim. Ha! I can hardly believe they went for it. Vermis. This is all well and good, but we have not won yet. We must make our final preparations. So, you can either march on the capital with the full strength of the new model army, raise own military, or quietly force the queen to abdicate, lower authority. So you can either raise your military to challenge the goddamn rail cannon that the East has, or lower authority. What is it going to be, my barons? My barons? Uh-oh. Marcher barons? Augurio, Casual Hoy, Skynet? Either works. This is true. Seems they're deliberating. I mean, if you like, I could just hit continue, and it'll give you a random. It's the cannonball that killed them all. We accidentally rail cannoned the Marcher Barons as they were partying up over military reforms. Yeah, since we don't have any votes currently, I could just hit continue, and it'll give you a random if you truly are indecisive on the matter. That said, it seems a decision has been made. I'll give the other barons a moment to challenge. We don't have a majority. I think we have 3 barons. So, what's it going to be, Casual Hoy? You could oppose, and then it would go back to being a random. Don't care? Fair enough. Continue. Alright, march on the capital with the full strength of the new model army. Baron Skynet.
Then it's settled. We have a plan of attack, but one last thing remains. Defense. For a final march on the capital, we'll need a sizable home garrison to repel opportunistic attackers from other regions.
For the final stage of their scheme, the barons must raise their military to at least 9. Okay, so we've got a race to 9. We've got the counts trying to get farming to 9, the barons trying to get military to 9, and then we've got the patricians who are gunning to make everyone mad. Alright. Well, it looks like there's some options coming up for both. I see option B is raising military for the barons. Option C is raising farming for the counts. So, let's start this auction. Let's see how it goes. 55 seconds. Be aware of potential delays if you're going to try and, get last second bids in. Let's see here. I'll go ahead and pull up the full noble list just to make sure everyone can see their money. So far, we've got 1,500 on C for the aqueduct, and we've got 500 going on B. So far, it seems like they're just sort of agreeing to build it, race from 8. There's still time, though, that other things could potentially be voted on. We've now got 800 funding on A, raising it up a bit. Alright, less than 10 seconds. We got 5 left. Be careful of delay. Time's up. Alright, so we got the aqueduct, which was mostly contributed by Count Maumans, increasing farming. Oh, but then someone else sniped in the deer park. Hey, yo! Which lowers the barons' farming, but also they don't get their fortress to raise their military. Hey, yo! Patricians are out for blood. They were starving, so now they're making sure other people get to enjoy it too. Have fun starving. Alright, your ambition. Spymaster. At the start of your reign, you said you wanted to be a saint. You're well on your way to reaching that goal. The Church have never loved a queen more. Well done, Your Majesty. But to shut down your noble scheming for good, we need to build on that reputation. Your advisors have some ideas. Archbishop.
Your Majesty, if you help us spread the zeal of the Ninth God, the Church will lend our full support. With the backing of the Church, the nobles wouldn't dare move against you.
Treasurer. Have you heard of the Scepter of Sages? It's an ancient lost artifact forged by Queen Alma the Wise. There's a legend that any queen who recovers it will rule over a golden age. So, I can either be elevated by the Church to the status of a saint, authority faith, or I can go to recover the Scepter of Sages, which is faith and trade. Our trade is not particularly great. It's essentially 5s across the board, is the easiest way to think about it, so it'd be basically a coin flip on that check. So I'm gonna work with the Church, I think. We're gonna go authority and faith. Archbishop.
A wise decision, Your Majesty. I'll send word to my priests. But of course, you need to be worthy. Your priority is to raise your authority and the kingdom's overall faith as much as you can. And of course, there can't be open rebellion among the nobles.
Authority and faith work hand in hand. Yep. We'll see. It's going to be close. I have to pass my authority check and then pass a faith check. I'm pretty sure I've got the faith check down. 10, 9, 10. So it's going to be mostly that authority check before counts get farming or we have some big bump to military. Probably already got it? Maybe. I think I've got, it's like, it's 10% per amount minus 10% chance. So I think I'm at like a coin flip at the moment on authority. Undercutting. Lord Patrician Mackatar. I wanted to speak with you about a delicate matter, your most august majesty. It concerns the furs trade. You might have to explain a bit further. Well, if there's one thing the barons know how to do, it's hunt. We all know they take far too much pleasure in it, but it's not just for pleasure, of course. Commercial hunting is important to their economy. Now, the counts are actually the biggest buyers of marcher furs, very useful for those cold, bleak winter nights in the east, and they line their coats with the stuff like it's going out of fashion. Are you saying I should have picked trade? Traditionally, we patricians have facilitated this trade, making sure that a fair deal was reached on both sides. Yet now the counts buy from the barons directly. They're cutting us out of the deal. You can't let them get away with it. Sounds like clever business to me.
Your Serene Highness, please, just call a council vote, will you?
Council vote? Okay, fine. Very well, then.
My eternal thanks, Your August Majesty.
So, we can either force the counts to continue buying furs through the patricians, allow the free market to sort this one out, bring the furs trade under the authority of the queen, or ban the sales of furs altogether. Ooh. We don't need the poorest nobles managing our money. Give me a cut of that fur, my lord. We shall see. I will not intervene. I was tempted to throw a veto on an option, just to make things interesting, but I will allow the council to decide for themselves. Make thy will be known. Ooh, even split so far. I know there's still a couple of barons left. I'll give a little more time for any late votes to process through. Let's see here. Alright, nothing's coming through, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Voting tied at 3, so now making me choose anyway. Patricians, I know you are struggling a bit with your scheme, as you have to get Defiance to 13 and it's 7. So, I think you know what is right in your heart, my lord. Money, we know the best. I believe we can see about, at the very least, giving you a nice care package of wealth to hold on to. Count Epic. You can't do this. Those patricians are just exploiting us to earn some money on the side. It's daylight robbery, it is. Praise the 9th. Yes, of course. But the counts still want furs, and now only the patricians can sell it to them. Despite principled words and angry letters, the trade continues, and patricians continue to get richer. Alright, so, wealth has gone up for some patricians. My goodness. And extraordinary findings. Scholar, we've had the most extraordinary findings after studying the corrupted ore, Your Majesty. You call it extraordinary. I call it heresy. Oh, you're here. I'm here to dissuade you from listening to this madman. All I want is to advance the cause of knowledge, without the Church's ignorance getting in the way. What have you found out? I assume you know your scripture, Your Majesty. You know what happened to the 8th god after the manifestation of the 9th. Let's see. The 8th asunder lies entombed. Yes, that's how the old song goes. The 8th god was torn into 8 pieces by the 9th, and each piece was interred deep beneath the ground. After reviewing some ancient texts in our library, we believe that the iron mine in the coast must be near one of those buried pieces. The ore is cursed because it is infected by memories of a dead god. You seem excited. It's one of the most important discoveries of the modern age. If we are allowed to study this ore further, perhaps we could create an entirely new kind of metal. If this ore contains even a shadow of the 8th's power, we must rebury it all and collapse the mines on top of it. The 9th god deigned that the 8th must stay buried, and so it must be. We would be squandering a resource of potentially incalculable value. If we can remove the curse, we could unlock the power of a god. He does make a compelling argument. If we could find a way to uncurse the ore. I know we were just praising the 9th for profits. But Alright. It's gonna hurt my faith, but well, yeah, fantasy uranium for holy atomic bombs? Maybe. I mean, we built a rail cannon. Who knows what we could make with this, you know? The 9th would understand? Yes, of course. We would be using the purified remnants of the 8th to skim just a little bit of power that we might bring the 9th's will to places such as Ashmead, you know? Ashmead, Kurth, Tavalin, we could enlighten them all. This will probably bite us in the ass, but hell, it's worth a shot. Alright, faith dropped by 2. Oof. The scholars thank you for your forbearance and promise you will be rewarded. Meanwhile, priests across the land preach that you are a heretic and a fool. No, no, no. I'm a saint. Of course. Alright. Tax time. Let's see here. What are we feeling? What should we do? Let's see. The trade bonus. The patricians invent Insurance. Making 500 wealth while fires rack the coast. The other nobles gain 200 wealth. Tax the rich. Yeah, I am seeing green, purple, green, purple, green. We could tax the rich, you know? That could be an option. Make a decent bit of money. You mean counts, yes? Trickle-down economics, as posited by the Grand King Reagan, it'll be better for everyone. You're only helping the patricians. Both can't rebel. This is true. Both can't rebel. The barons are simply driven by greed. You see, if I was helping the patricians, I would also do this. Now that would be helpful for them. And it would make me a lot of money. Pinky swear, my lord, it's a viable economic tactic. Well, that's unnecessary. They profit off suffering. Meowmans, you did invest nearly all of your funds into building a deer park to reduce farming in the Baron's land. The peasantry will see a share of our profits, eventually. Common tax barons and counts, cruel tax patricians, says one of the counts. Ooh. Ooh. The counts really want to go after the patricians here. You don't want to tax Meowmans, they will have no money. This is true. Yeah, I mean, even if I just do the common tax, I'm taking half of Meowman's whole family value. Envy politics. Actually, you should pay your loyal army. Ooh. I do have quite the loyal army. If we tax by loyalty, then well, it's patricians. Take care of and develop, and we are the engine of the economy. Ooh. We are at one defiance. True, it would be foolish to reward such loyalty with cruelty. Perhaps if we keep everyone simply on the common tax, we should cut the funds of the counts. Ooh, damn. Well, if we... I guess, in theory, the counts could win off the next auction, assuming they could build even more aqueducts. So if we harm their economic potential, that would, you know, make them have less options to simply brute force their way. But then again, I would want to prevent the barons from brute forcing military, too. Surely. But the patricians, loyal as they are, they could simply be, you know, on the common tax. Barons are the most faithful. Great thinking, Your Highness. Patricians are very happy with the current slider arrangement. Compromise. Cruel tax everyone. I could cruel tax everybody. This way, you know, it would help. Yeah, it would make it fair if I did that. They simply have nothing to lose. It's unfair. This is true. Like, I know Baron Skynet would not be able to afford his taxes, nor would Count Meowmans. We patricians have earned our bread. This is unfair. We are making it fair for everyone. Let's see here. Well, I suppose we could put it to a council vote. Let's see here. All right. And let's go ahead and start a poll. We'll put it to the council. We'll let the council vote. Let's see here. Ooh. It was in favor of no, but now it's evened out. All right. Came out tied. 2-2. Dang. You really are an indecisive lot. My goodness. Well, I think for the continued stability of the kingdom, I will make it simple, and I will simply keep it on common tax. This way none can complain. Surely. Wait, the counts? What about the counts? I say to keep it fair. Only... So in order to be fair, the counts need to be taxed cruelly while everyone else is on the common tax. That is the new plan, is it? That said, if we tax the counts too much, in theory, they could start seeking rebellion. They have mountains and vampires. No, I'm settling this, that way we can move on. I will simply keep it at the common tax. Some have invested their money in earlier auctions, and now those who have saved shall be rewarded. Let's see here. Fellsteel, Scholar. Our work with the cursed ore is proceeding better than we dared hope, Your Majesty. We think we can get rid of the curse. We were going to call it Godsteel, but the church objected. So for now, we're calling it Fellsteel. The name is a work in progress. But we haven't perfected the process yet. We need people to test it on. People who might not survive the process. Are you seriously asking for the Council's permission to kidnap and murder my citizens? Not kidnap, Your Majesty. We would simply promise them a lot of gold, and we wouldn't mention the risks. Is there no other way? No, Your Majesty. Sometimes sacrifices need to be made. Very well. I'll gather the council for a vote. Thank you, Your Majesty. So we can either allow human experimentation in the Fellsteel project, tell the scholars to experiment on animals instead, or shut down the Fellsteel project. And damn it, it's cool, so we're doing this. It's too cool. I can't pass up on it. It's just too neat. Fellsteel sounds badass. And if we could arm our entire nation with Felsteel, there would be no nation that could stop us, should it prove as effective as we believe. Ooh, Cat Big Karma, the only conscientious objector, objecting against the use of it on humans. The only conscientious objector. Everyone else is just like, yeah, human experimentation, let's go for it. Let's make goddamn Wolverine. Just inject it right into their skeletons. These are my folk. It's only peasants, Cap. Over the next few months, fears spread in the capital. People are going missing near the university. Fathers aren't coming home. The citizens grow restless and afraid, and why, they ask, isn't the queen doing anything about it? Oh boy. A horrible haunting. During a meeting with the council nobles, a commotion erupts as Baron Augriel lets out a piercing scream. Oh, hey Augriel, last time we spoke with you, you were absolutely sloshed. By my honor! Great God, it's here! It's here! They faint away, falling to the ground with a crash. By the ninth God, someone fetch water! A servant runs for water and holds it to Augriel's mouth. I thought I'd be safe from it here, but unfortunately, when we built that deer park on my lands, some manner of specter was disturbed, and it's made me its target. What is it doing exactly? Lord Patrician Maktkatar, aren't you the one that funded it? Who was it that funded the deer park? Oh, man. Oh, are we really entertaining this nonsense? I hear voices, my liege. Little pin pricks at the back of my mind. Just now I saw a horrid grey shape hanging over me. Its face a rotting mask. We're too old for campfire tales, Augriel. I beg you, your highness and gathered nobles, come to my aid. We must banish this wraith. So we can send an inquisitor to exercise the site. 80% faith roll. Nice. Research the land on which the deer park is built, or ignore the situation. All will be fine. It's about a call for unity. What are we thinking? Let's learn. We could send an inquisitor to purge it, in the name of the ninth god, of course. Ooh, a couple of the patricians being a little heartless, just ignoring it. Even Maktkatar was like, fine, we'll send the Inquisition, and he was the one talking about campfire stories. All right. You have a couple more seconds. And continue. All right, voting has closed. We're sending an Inquisitor to exercise the site. The High Inquisitor sends a team of her most pious agents to investigate. They report back swiftly. High Inquisitor, faith challenge succeeded. There was a spirit hanging around the deer park, Your Majesty. A powerful one with a strong connection to Augriel. But my Inquisitors can handle anything. They stayed awake for 3 days, performing a ritual with holy water and candles. The whole area is cleansed. Treasurer, and Augriel sent you a nice gift as thanks. They're sleeping much better these days. 500? My goodness, Augriel. Alright. Now then, ambition, sainthood. Archbishop. Your Majesty, I've received messages from the priests beyond the capital. They've been working hard to promote your power in every sermon. I heard some priests were decrying me as a fool and a heretic because I took the dead god arm and made a rail cannon out of it. And then I took another piece of metal that was buried near the dead god and used it to start doing human You don't need to know that. What have they been saying? The crown has the divine right to rule, but my priests are pushing the message just a bit harder. More of a divine mandate. Listen to the priest's letters. 50% chance. Coin flip. Your command of the kingdom is masterful, Your Majesty.
The nobles are in no position to push back against you. Now the true journey of sainthood begins. We will scour the kingdom for miracles, so that you can show the holiness of your rule. Please thank your priests for me. Oh, they need no thanks. More than ever, they serve the crown and the ninth as one. I shall write to my priests directly. They will be investigating any potential miracles and send word once they find something. Wait for a miracle. 90% faith. Faith challenge failed. 90% faith. Faith challenge failed. Game's not up yet, chat. Game is not over yet. Holy shit. That means, though, my next check is 100%, because they add 10%. So unless my faith goes down, I've got 100% next one. But after a few weeks, the Archbishop returns with an immensely sour expression. In the east, a pig seemed to be sick, but then she got up and walked. And a villager in the coast claimed that his statue of St. Bertrand started crying, but his neighbors say it was just the rain. No miracles, then. The ninth god works in mysterious ways. These may be miracles, but they're not dramatic enough to make the average peasant pay attention. Must bring the lost sheep back to the flock. Without a faithful kingdom, there's little to be done. To improve your chances of victory, you must focus on increasing the kingdom's faith as much as possible in the next 2 seasons. The challenge will decrease its difficulty with each failed attempt. So yeah, so 10% more chance next time. Unless our faith goes down, we're at 100% in 2 seasons. So in other words, there's still 2 seasons for me to lose the game. Oh boy. Anonymous voting, stop the count, or royal gamble. Ooh. Let's pick up... Nah, we were having some issues with delay, so I'm not going to go stop the count. I'll take royal gamble, though, in place of call for unity. Alright, let's see here. Roving hunters. Chancellor. Your Majesty, 2 barons are on their way home from an epic hunt and seek shelter for the night. In exchange, they're willing to gift you a rare trophy and provide meat for an extravagant feast, if you so wish. They can stay, but I don't feel like a feast. You invite the barons and their retinue into the palace and exchange pleasantries before turning in for the night. But later that night, you hear strange noises coming from their quarters, like a pig squealing and snorting. What on suddest oath did they bring in here? Investigate the noise. You creep down the corridor and push open the door. The former barons stand before you, transformed into hideous porcine beasts that stand on 2 legs, with snouts, tusks, and floppy pink ears. Baron Casual Hoy.
Your Majesty!
Baron Agrio. Don't look at us! What in the devil is wrong with you?
It was the meat, my liege. We hunted and butchered an ancient, legendary beast. We were told it was cursed, but... we were also told devouring the beast, the spirit of the forest itself, would bestow great power. We never thought this would be our reward.
Also, I like, you look strong, I want this power for myself. That's hilarious, because we also have the cult offering to make us a blood drinker. We could be a vampire werewolf saint. And that is just goddamn... we're becoming Power Wolf. And that's fucking hilarious. If we were so inclined. Well, we'll keep the secret, but they're quite obviously visibly werewolves. Yeah. Only a night, yeah. Let's see here. This could be interesting. I really want to do, like, the, because they have legacy events, as it's called, if you play the same save file after the game ends. I'd be really curious to see if this had any sort of, stuff. Man, bear, pig? Yeah, pretty much. Don't worry. I'll keep your secret. That's a problem for Mara II to find out, assuming I can keep the throne.
Thank you, Your Majesty. 1,000 thanks. We think the transformation is temporary, but it may return in the future. Not to worry. We'll find ourselves a cure when we get back to the march.
Good luck. They nod furtively and scramble out of the room. The next morning, you part ways with the barons, who look like ordinary humans again. It's not obvious if the curse was temporary or if it's merely hidden during the day. They thank you for your hospitality, gifting you some of their hunting trophies, including the pincers of a colossal crab from the coast, known as Heart Pincher. Badass. Bad mushrooms. Baron Casual Hoy. Looking good, considering how we last met.
Bad news, Your Majesty. The Marcher common folk are starving.
Predictable, yeah, but in their starvation, they have turned to foraging for cave mushrooms to survive.
This particular variety is delicious and filling, but makes one very ill. After a brief recovery, all seems well.
I don't like where this is going. The next morning, the unfortunate soul rises from their bed in a fugue state, wandering the streets as though touched by a demon. I feel like there's supposed to be another character here. I'm not sure if that's a bug. I'm not sure if I should be reading this as Casual Hoy, or, or another character. But, because see, now it's updated. Now it's back to Casual Hoy, for sure.
Then they drop dead. This mushroom is so dangerous that my servants are calling it the Six Gods' Bane.
Spymaster, it sounds rather useful.
Oh, well, I couldn't comment on that. If we can't get more food in the march, we should at least tell the peasants that what the Six Gods' Bane looks like.
So, we can either pay the barons to harvest mushrooms for the Spymaster, the other nobles must send aid to the march, or ensure the people know how to recognize the Six Gods' Bane 50% stability roll. Not doing that. Start the vote. What's it going to be? What are we feeling? Ooh. Counts are split. Looks like Count Epic is on his own going with A, but the barons seem to be siding with him. Ooh, even the patricians are split on the matter. Okay. Alright. Voting is closed. The harvest does little for the starving peasants, but at least the Six Gods' Bane is no longer on the menu. In the meantime, the Spymaster hoards the mushrooms, distilling them down carefully until a deadly poison remains. Authority is now commanding. Alright. Costly crossbows. As you're walking beside the palace parade grounds, a crossbow bolt whizzes past your head and shatters against the wall behind you. Okay. Well, it was almost the end of Mara the First. Baron Augriel approaches. Man, Augriel, you have been up to some stuff. You got absolutely sloshed, I think it was at my wedding ceremony, and used the Archbishop's hat as a chamber pot because you couldn't find the Louvre. Or find the loo, I should say. Then you ate the flesh of a forest spirit and became a werewolf, and now you've almost shot the queen. Baron Augriel approaches, out of breath and waving frantically. They have a sleek, fancy-looking crossbow nestled in one hand. Great God, Your Highness! I nearly took your head off! What in the seven hells are you doing with that? Sorry to scare you. I just wanted to show you this crossbow. Can shoot 3 bolts a minute and punch through Ashmedian armor at 500 yards. Beautiful, isn't she? Trouble is, to achieve such accuracy and power, so you missed me, but wanted to aim at me. She needs to be crafted from springwood. It only grows in the forests of the coast, and those coastal bastards charge exorbitantly for it. That's the free market, I suppose. Pah! If this is what the free market looks like, let's put it in chains. That's what I say. I comrade. The barons of the march are guarding your borders, Your Highness, and yet we can't afford to buy the weapons we need. If you want to keep your kingdom safe, the patricians must stop price gouging. Ooh. Your Serene Highness, this is outrageous, Lord Patrician Captain Banana says. These barons just want a bargain. Okay. Not to be overly paranoid, but these crossbows, they sound really badass. The only problem with them being so badass is I think they're worth a +2 to military kind of badass. And at a +2 to military, that's modernization, baby. Surely not. I mean, these are some pretty cool crossbows. At least they seem like it. Feel the gambler inside you. If it's only a +1 to military, then we're fine. However, the issue is it is potentially a +2 Royal Gamble on Sea. Fair enough. Let's do it. Royal Gamble. Let thy will be known. I nobles. Also, young Cameron Diaz, you are a baron. Baroness Young Cameron Diaz. Alright, it looks like so far people are refusing to limit the free market. Ooh. Well, the barons started to rally there. Alright, give a couple more seconds for any last second votes. Alright, and continue. Voting is closed. Refuse to limit the free market. Baron Agriel. Next time an Ashmedian horde comes screaming over the border, I'll lay out a welcome mat. Defiance is now insolent. Treasury. It's up there. Over the next few months, the patricians continue to ratchet up Springwood prices. Only the wealthiest barons can afford the finest crossbows, and the marcher armies are forced to make do with subpar equipment. Trade is now opulent. Some barons' wealth has decreased. Military is now strong. If we deplete the Springwood via free shipments, we'll lose crossbows altogether, obviously. I see. The patricians are trying to justify their decision. Alright, in season. I have an heir. Everyone is in the end game. In season. Hey, Felsteel Forged. As the scholar enters, he is flanked by a pair of exceptionally tall, exceptionally thin men in plated armor. They stand easily 8 feet in height. The work is done. We have created Felsteel. The two armored men bang their fists into their breastplates in perfect unison. What are the advantages of Felsteel over ordinary steel? It is tougher and lighter, but most significantly, those who wear suits of Felsteel armor for more than 5 weeks will find themselves being altered. The armored men flip up their visors, revealing haggard, skull-like visages. Their eyes are deeply sunken, their pupils shrunk to pinpricks. Fascinating. I know I'm getting a little heretical, but, you know, I'm practically a saint anyway. 8-foot-tall Death Knights? Pretty much. Those who wear the armor will grow taller, stronger. Soon, they can run for miles without tiring. Their minds change too, more certain in their convictions, less likely to question orders. In short, they become the perfect soldier. Of course, there are disadvantages. They will lose both fat and muscle, becoming unnaturally gaunt, as you can see. And if they remove the armor, I'm afraid they will die. But I think the benefits outweigh the drawbacks. Let's call the council for a vote on this new medal. Lord Patrician Cat Big Karma. The ores from our land. This armor should be ours. So we can either outlaw this foul metal, distribute suits of fell steel armor to the east, distribute it to the coast, or keep the fell steel armor within the capital. I know it's a little heretical, but, you know, like, I've got a pretty solid chance of becoming a saint, you know? So, let's go all in. Why not? Let's go full badass. Because, yeah, this seems... It's almost like, what is... Like, the image in my mind is, what is it? The Outrider Knights from Dark Souls 3. Like the Irithyll Knights, if you know what I'm talking about. Alright, voting is tied at 4. Distribute it to the east would be kind of hilarious. They were made by ores from my mine. It's mine. And admittedly, we were having issues with the patricians. They were kind of getting, probably still are, technically speaking, getting attacked by privateers. And these Outrider Knights could make the difference. You know? These Death Knights, as some have started to call them. My liege, the East Army is strongest. This is true. They do have the railgun. And seeing as they already have the railgun made out of the arm of a god, I believe it would be fair to help distribute the power a little bit. The East has their railgun, and the coast shall bear the Death Knights. As you command, the mines and the coast are reopened. More and more of the cursed ores extracted, and hundreds of suits of fell steel armor are forged. The High Inquisitor is furious, of course. But what can she do at this point? You outfit the most elite members of the coastal army with fell steel. They'll make a formidable fighting force indeed. Military is now mighty. So... My barons, I know you had an impressive military and you've put forth all these reforms, and secretly you're planning to march on the capital with a new model army, but... Holy! Like, god damn. But yeah, +5. Jesus. It counts. Rebel just to stick it to the king. Hey, wait. Hold on a minute, barons. Before you go promoting the counts to rebellion, remember, if the counts... Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Uh-oh. The defiance went up by 4. Oh, no. Okay, I gotta win it. And I lowered my faith. Oh, no. I didn't even consider the... It was +2 defiance to each region, so it was plus... Holy shit. Clutch? Not clutched yet. I've sent my priest to investigate any potential miracles and send word once they find something. Hopefully we hear back soon. Oh, you sweet fools. Oh, my sweet, sweet patricians, sowing discourse among the other nobles, prompting for rebellions. But in truth, how could you rebel against a living saint? After a few weeks, Lord Patrician Cat Big Karma arrives excitedly. Marvelous, Your August Majesty. Excellent news from the coast. 9 white wildcats were seen close to Patrician's villa, and a group of mercenaries followed them along the coast. They found an ancient, forgotten church carved into the cliffside. The wildcats vanished, leaving only a handful of fur. Not to mention, the coastal crops suddenly flourished. We could have made you a god. It's true. But from what I've seen, gods can die. We found the arm of one. You've now got it as a gun. So I'll take my own form of ascension, thank you.
Archbishop, besides, you must recall your defeat of the 8th chapter heretics, and that a peasant reported a vision of you being blessed by the 9th. When the Queen's rule is holy, the 9th god rewards. Everyone agrees the signs are here.
A sign of my power. I can feel it.
And the 9th god's might, your majesty. Don't forget that. I will make preparations for the ceremony at St. Bertrand's Cathedral. I look forward to seeing you.
That evening, your husband comes to see you. Jacob, I wonder if I'll have to call you Saint Mara? Saint Queen? Saint Queen Mara? God Empress Supreme, who has a railgun and death knights in her army. Fuck with me, Ashmead, I dare you. Nah, we might have to try that with Mara the Second, though. Like, try to conquer Ashmead. Because I know you can actually go to war versus them, and that would be fascinating. If we could vassalize Ashmead because we have a railgun and death knights, oh, that'd be so cool. We'll have to try that out. Alright. Anyway, it's a jolly good achievement. Well done. What do you think you'll get up to? Let's see, I went to the church and crown work in harmony. I'll deal with my enemies swiftly. I hope so, Mara. I suspect you'll have made a lot of them. Before you know it, the time has come. It's a gloriously sunny day in the capital, and the layers upon layers of ceremonial robes are rather hot. You stand before the Archbishop in St. Bertrand's Cathedral in front of the gathered nobles. Jacob stands beside you, his hand in yours. Ah, my faithful king consort. Off to the side, Mara II is watching excitedly. She occasionally tries to dash into the crowd, but her governess retrieves her each time.
Archbishop, we gather before the power of the 9th god to witness the holy influence of Queen Mara.
There follows a very long sermon. Stand and smile respectfully. It goes on and on. Faith is now fanatical. But eventually, it's time for your blessing. A blanket of silence falls over the cathedral. You step forward, and the Archbishop sprinkles holy water upon your brow. Perhaps you feel something. A bright spark of potential. The future stretches ahead as the endless power of the influential church surrounds you. The nobles can never stand against you now.
Rise once more, Queen of the Kingdom and Saint Mara.
May the 9th god bless this day.
He will, Your Majesty. He will.
Also, Versus, thank you for the follow. Applause rises in the cathedral, echoing in the huge rafters. Surrounded by her red-robed devotees, the High Inquisitor is watching closely. After a moment, she applauds with the rest. At the next council session, the nobles arrive to find a cluster of inquisitors have joined your honor guard. The Inquisition's not done yet, baby! Let's go! Baroness Young Cameron Diaz. What are they doing here? Since when does the Inquisition have a place in the council? I see it. Storm, do you want to be tried for heresy? Says Lord Patrician Cat Big Karma. The power of the 9th god courses through my veins. The nobles fall silent, terrified. Maybe sainthood doesn't work like that. But what does it matter? Of course, over the course of the day, even the boldest noble is quick to vote with the crown. It's so easy, relaxing, efficient. You finish early for the first time in months. With the church at your back, you have license to do what you please, as long as you keep on the 9th god's good side, of course. A long, glorious, and venerated reign awaits for Saint Mara. The monarch is victorious. The barons' revolutionary plans for their new model army were quietly shelved, but not forgotten. Those blueprints will surely come in useful someday. With their plans in tatters, the counts retreated to their castles to brood. Their olive branch was rejected, the secret of eternity that they had guarded for aeons. They would not be so kind again. The patricians succeeded in turning the palace into a hotbed of bribery and corruption, but what's new about that? They failed to gain the throne and lost money in the process. Bad investment. Praise be! Under Saint Mara's reign, the church was all-powerful. The only thing warmer than the hearts of believers were the heretics being burned alive. The queen died peacefully after another 15 years of devout rule. Legend says that an angel appeared at her bedside to bear her to the thereafter. In-game ledger. Queen Mara the Greedy. Queen Mara the Greedy the Saint. The Inquisitor. Game length 3 years, 3 months. Spouse, Jacob of the March. Successor, Queen Mara II. Nobles. Our wealthiest noble is Cap Big Karma with 1850 wealth. Our poorest noble is Meowmans with 100. And kingdom stats. Hey, there's Mara II. Alright, authority 6. Treasury 4,250. Stability 5. And yeah, oh man, that was a close game. Holy. Alright, but yeah, we definitely need to see about doing some of the legacy events for Mara II. That'll be exciting to see. Because, I'll be honest, these kingdom stats are actually kind of crazy. Aside from, like, the farming. But yeah, for now, exit game. But yeah, GG to everyone, and thank you so much all for participating. Also, we are getting super close to 100 followers. Speaking of which, Ken, thank you for the follow. It says 97 at the moment. I'm not sure if that's updated. I'm not sure if we're at 98, but we are getting super close to 100 followers. So if you are so inclined, Meowmans, thank you for the follow. And there's the follower goal, baby. 100. We have hit triple digits of followers. Woo! Let's go, everybody. Hey, Makatar, thank you for the follow. Hell yeah. Let's go. Another round. I don't have time tonight because I did promise that I would help some people with some Final Fantasy rating. So I'll be helping them out here in a couple of hours, and I still need to go eat dinner. So I am out of time for tonight. Young Cameron Diaz, thank you for the follow. I do have a Discord that should be linked in my Twitch. I will probably be announcing when I'm planning to do the follow-up to this on there. Because I stream variety. I go live at 4:30 most days, almost every day. I don't have a chat bot set up yet. It's one of the things I am working on. But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And let's see about going on a raid. Let's see who is available for a raid. Hey, one of my buddies, Not a Noble, is playing some War Thunder. So, those who are followers, you should have access to our special little Yvette raid emote. So be sure to hit Noble with the raid emote and give him a big hey yo otherwise. Raid, hey yo, all that good stuff. That said, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And thank you all so much for taking me up to triple digits of followers. Have a wonderful night. Thank you all. Praise the ninth.